All right, let's talk about it. Are you just so tired of the fat loss fads? The complicated rules, the endless lists of foods you can't eat? Yeah, me too. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to build a simple, science backed system that actually truly works for the long haul. Ready? Let's dive in.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You start some new diet with a million rules, you're super motivated for a week, maybe two, and then, well, life happens. It's just too complicated, it's too restrictive, and you wind up right back where you started. It's such a frustrating cycle, and we're gonna break it right now.
But what if there was a better way? What if, instead of this rigid set of rules you have to follow perfectly, you just had a simple, flexible system? That's exactly what we're building today. A method that gets us away from those temporary fixes and really focuses on what creates lasting change.
So, before we even start talking about what foods to eat, we have to understand the one single principle that is behind all fat loss. Seriously, it doesn't matter if it's keto, paleo, vegan. If a diet works, it's because of this one core idea. And here it is, the calorie deficit. It's not magic, it's just physics, really. To lose body fat, you absolutely have to consume less energy than your body uses up. This is the bedrock of everything. And just understanding this is incredibly empowering, right? Because now our goal isn't to follow a bunch of crazy random rules. It's simply to create this deficit in a smart, sustainable way.
Okay, so how do we actually create that deficit without feeling starving and miserable all the time? Well, let's get into our first strategy. And I'll tell you, it's a little bit counterintuitive. We're not going to start by taking things away. That's right, you heard me. Every diet you've ever been on probably told you to cut carbs, cut fat, cut all the things you love. We're going to flip that script completely. Instead of starting with subtraction, our very first move is to add something to our plate. And that something we're adding, it's protein. Now, this isn't just a hunch. This is backed up by some really solid science. It almost sounds too easy, but the simple act of upping your protein can kickstart the whole fat loss process, pretty much automatically. Okay, now check this out. This number, 440, this is where things get really interesting. A 2005 study found that when people just doubled their protein intake, they naturally, without even trying, ate an average of 440 fewer calories per day. Think about that for a second. No counting, no restriction, just an automatic drop in calories. And what was the result of that effortless calorie reduction? Well, over 12 weeks, the people in that same study lost an average of nearly 10 pounds of pure body fat. This wasn't because of some complex meal plan or a long list of forbidden foods. It was simply from focusing on protein first. So why is protein so powerful? What's the magic here? Well, it comes down to three key things. First, it's incredibly filling. It sends signals to your brain that you're full and satisfied, which helps crush those hunger cravings. Second, when you're losing weight, protein helps protect your lean muscle. This is so important because you want to lose fat, not muscle. And third, your body actually uses more energy just to digest protein compared to fats and carbs. It's a nice little metabolic boost. So what's a real actionable target for you? A great goal to shoot for is about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of your body weight each day. And listen, the best protein sources are the ones you actually like eating. Whether that's chicken, fish, tofu, Greek yogurt, pick what works for you. The whole point is that this has to be sustainable. Okay, so we've got protein as our foundation. Awesome. Now let's tackle the two things that always get demonized, carbs and fats. They are not your enemies. They are fuel. We just need a smarter strategy for them. Man, this slide just says it all, doesn't it? The old way of cutting all carbs leaves you with zero energy. And you know that super fast weight loss you see in the first week? Sorry to break it to you, but most of that is just water, not actual fat. The smart way is to focus on timing your carbs and choosing options that are more filling and less processed. So here's a really simple, powerful rule of thumb. Think of your carbs as workout fuel. Try to eat a good chunk of your daily carbs in the meals right before and right after you exercise. This gives your body the direct energy it needs to perform and recover, so those calories get put to good use instead of just being stored. And now for fats. Look, the number one thing to remember here is that they are incredibly calorie dense. A single tablespoon of olive oil, which is super healthy, still has over 100 calories. So the goal is not to eliminate fat, but just to be aware. Be mindful of those hidden fats in things like salad dressings, cooking oils, and sauces. Little swaps, like using a spray oil instead of pouring it, can make a huge difference without you even noticing. Okay, so we've covered the big principles: a calorie deficit driven by high protein with smart carbs and fats. Now, let's pull it all together into one simple visual system you can use for literally every single meal. This right here, this is the core mindset shift we're going for. A strict meal plan is temporary, it's fragile, it has an endpoint, and one little mistake can make you feel like a total failure. A system, on the other hand, is something you can use for the rest of your life. It's flexible, it's adaptable, and most importantly, it puts you in control.
And here is that system: the balanced plate. It's so simple and so beautiful. Just fill half your plate with colorful fruits and veggies. They give you fiber, vitamins, and a ton of volume. Fill 1/4 of your plate with your high-quality protein. That's the anchor of the meal. And then fill that final quarter with your smart carbs and fats for energy. That's it. No weighing, no complicated math, just a simple visual guide for every meal.
Finally, let's just lock this all in with a few key habits. 1. Slow down when you eat. It really does give your brain time to register that you're full. 2. Try to eat on a pretty consistent schedule to help regulate your hunger. 3. Aim for slow, steady progress. Like half a pound a week is fantastic and super sustainable. And 4, and this is the most important one, expect to slip up. You're human. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Just get right back on track with your very next meal using that balanced plate.
So let's end with this thought. For years, we've all been told that the secret to fat loss is restriction, restriction, restriction. But what if the real key isn't about restricting your plate at all, but about learning how to build it better? Thanks so much for joining me for this.